exciting. Got my life jacket on. It's me and my dad doing this. My mum was a little scared of going into the sea on a boat, but we're going to have a great time anyway. Looks like we've got some big waves. So now the tractor's going to push us in. There's the tractor coming. You're going to have to hold on tight. Felt like about 90 miles an hour.
Something like James Bond style.
I think my mum would have been terrified by that. So here we are arriving at the first one. Oh, sand there. Really is a...
Ahoy there me hearties, and welcome to the Round Cave. Round like a right bobby on patrol. That's how it got its name. Mind the bumps on the noggin as we squeeze in. This cave's right cosy, but don't be fooled by its size. This fella's got history. See all those bits of shell and whatnot stuck in the ceiling? Millions of years ago, this cave was having a right laugh underwater. Crazy to think, eh? Imagine fish having a knees up in here. Alright, enough of me waffling, let's move on to the next cave. Keep your eyes peeled for more surprises. Now then, take a butcher's at these birds up top. Those black beauties are cormorants, and they can hold their breath. 3 whole minutes underwater, imagine that. And while they're busy looking for their dinner, we'll have a gander at Round Beach. It's a right beaut of a spot. Sandy toes and sunshine, what more could you want? Hey up me babby, this here is Fisherman's Beach. And remember that secret tunnel we whizzed through on our previous episode? Well, it starts right at this beach and leads through to the other side. It seems the old fishermen weren't just dab hands at catching cod, they were also right tunnel builders too. It must have been a right shortcut for them, eh? Though, by judging by the name of the next beach, New Beach, it seems their creativity stopped at tunnel engineering. But hey, who needs fancy names when you've got a beach like this beaut, right? Alright, me landlubbers, batten down the hatches. We're heading into the wild bit now. Most of these beaches from here on in are off limits to your average bloke on the street. You've got to be on a boat like us to reach these beauties. First up is Hontal Beach. It's a real gem. Come summertime, you can even get a boat trip here and have a right barbie on the sands. Now that's what I call a proper beach day.
More cormorants up there.
Ahoy there again, adventurers. Ever seen a rock that looks like a giant bath toy? No? Well, get your eyes ready for yellow submarine rock. And see that bit up there at the top? Looks like a little fellow with a right toothy grin, right? Some reckon it's a crocodile, but I see a grumpy yellow sub-captain. And those little holes on the side? They are not portholes for sure, but they do make the whole rock look like a giant submarine. All thanks to the sea and wind having a right good go at it for millions of years. Nature's a right clever sculpture, eh? Alright, enough yakking. Let's see what other crazy rock formations await. Avast ye scurvy dogs, now this is a right corker, one of our favourite caves actually. See, the roof used to be all snug like a blanket, but time and tide had other plans, and now it's a proper open air cave. Fancy name for this is an Algar, just to make things posh. Speaking of posh, take a look at these pigeons perched up top like they own the place. We call this one Pigeon Cave for a reason, mind you. Just keep your eye out for their souvenirs. Those birdies can be right messy sometimes. Ahoy there, me hearties. Ready for a right laugh? Look at this rock formation right here on the left. See that bumpy bit? Looks like a right grumpy fella with a massive chin, wouldn't you say? And now, swivel your peepers to the right hand side. Blimey, another face. This one's a right whopper with a nose like a Roman emperor. Must be a right posh party these rocks are having, eh? Nature's a right joker, that's for sure. Ahoy there, landlubbers. Ever seen a postcard that's become a computer icon? Well, get your cameras ready because we're approaching the Albandeira Arch. This beauty is so famous it was even a screensaver on Windows 8. The Portuguese are right chuffed about it, and rightly so. And now, as we sail under this grand arch, keep your eyes peeled for the right hand side. See that little tunnel? On a low tide, you can actually walk right through it and end up on the other beach. But just remember, this tunnel's a bit of a tide watcher. High tide rolls in and it becomes a no-go zone. So if you're planning a secret beach escape, make sure you check the tide tables first. Alright, enough yakking, let's sail on. Ahoy again, my hearties. Shiver me timbers, there's a monster ahead. See that giant gape in the rock? Looks like a right grumpy fella ready to gobble up the whole ocean. Some say it has a taste for tourists. 2 every tour the captain has to throw in. I'm just kidding, of course. This here's another beaut of a cave. It's only accessible by our trusty boat. Best keep your distance though. Wouldn't want to give that fella indigestion. Ahoy there, mateys. Now this is a cave with a right swashbuckling history. They say old Captain Blackheart himself used this as a hideout back in the 11th century. Treasure, salty dogs and all that jazz. Of course these days the only treasure you will find here are the stunning rock formations. But hey, a bit of piratey mystery never hurt anyone, right? This cave is another one that's a right secret. You can only reach it by sea. Keep your eyes peeled for any buried doubloons. Ahoy there, landlubbers. Our captain wants to show you a right corker. It's a natural chimney. Peek through the top. And see this hidden beach down here as well. Another secret cove you can only reach by a trusty boat like ours. Imagine having that whole beach to yourself for a day. Pure bliss. Alright, enough dreaming. Let's see what other treasures this coastline has to offer. Ahoy me hearties. Now this little fella right here is a right up and comer. We call it the baby cave. It might not be much to look at now, but with the ocean waves giving it a good old tickle every day, this cave's going to be a right growler one of these days. Just imagine, in a few million years, we could be looking at the next big tourist attraction. Avast ye landlubbers! Ever seen a gorilla take a right good bellow at the sea? Well, look to the starboard side. That there rock formation is King Kong himself, letting out an almighty roar. See that gaping mouth? And that big round belly? It looks like he's swallowed a whole galleon, the poor fella. Ahoy there, me hearties. Ever seen an elephant take a dip in the Algarve? Blimey. This rock formation right here is a dead ringer for an elephant taking a right good soak. See that lumpy bit for a head? And that long bit dipping into the water for a trunk? And those bits at the bottom, those be his legs. Cool as you like. Ahoy there me hearties. Have you ever fancied fishing with a prehistoric pal? Well, keep your eyes peeled on this rocky blighter. We call this one Crocodile Cave. See that fella perched up top? Looks more like a right grumpy lizard to me, but hey, who am I to argue? Back in the day before fancy schmancy GPS gadgets, fishermen used these rock formations like landmarks, you see. This fella is a right grand waymarker.
This is the Submarine cave, only accessible at low tide.
This here, my friends, is the legendary Benagil Cave, and legendary it be, because it's the 7th most beautiful blooming sea cave in the whole world. Now that's something to write home about, eh? Keep your eyes peeled for that special hole in the roof. It lets in a right sunbeam like a spotlight on pirate's treasure. Ahoy there me buckos, it's time to test your lungs. This here's Echo Cave, and it's a real screamer. Give it a good old bellow. Anything you shout will come back bouncing back like a parrot with a hangover. Just don't blame me if the captain throws you a fishy look for all the racket. Ahoy there me hearties. Now this here's a right secret passage, Tunnel Cave. Only accessible by our trusty boat, this cave is like a watery gateway to another world. Imagine popping through here in a little kayak. Wouldn't that be a right adventure? Ahoy there! Ever wondered what keeps ships safe along this rocky coast? Well, shiver me timbers, that there be the Albandeira lighthouse, the second most important fella on this whole Algarve coastline. This lighthouse has been keeping an eye out for sailors since 1920. Now this secret hideout is called Pirates Tunnel. This wasn't always just a pretty cave structure, you see. Back in the day, it was a right den of swashbuckling pirates. They'd sail their ships in here, stash their loot through them two holes up top, we call them Algar, and disappear like phantoms. Seems smugglers used it for their dodgy dealings too, sneaky blighters. Duck down low and batten down the hatches, because next we're heading into Paradise Cave. That's right, mind your noggins, this beauty's a bit on the cosy side, but don't let that fool you, it's a real stunner once we're inside. See those holes up there? They took millions of years of wind and rain having a right good go at the rock to make those beauties. Nature's a right clever sculptor. Alright, enough yakking. Let's see what treasures paradise holds.
So here we can see these three holes, and we can imagine millions of years ago coming inside from doing this rotation and hitting the rock, creating small holes. Eventually the holes get together and the wind collapses. That's more or less the process. This was several holes that get together.
Ahoy there, landlubbers. Ever wondered what the lighthouse has for company down below? Well, shiver me timbers, that's the Albandeira cave right here. Tucked away neatly under the watchful eye of its big brother, This cave's a hidden gem, only accessible by our trusty boat. It must be nice having a lighthouse as a neighbour, eh? Always keeps a watchful eye out for any trouble. Ahoy there, landlubbers! Blast those barnacles off your breeches, because the caves are behind us, but the Algarve adventure's just getting warmed up. As we speed back to Albandeira de Pera, let's take a butcher's at this coastline, shall we? All those golden cliffs sailing past, those beauties hold millions of years of history, stories whispered on the wind, for all who care to listen. And remember those hidden coves we squeezed past like a sneaky pirate ship? Those, me hearties, are secret beaches, only accessible by a trusty boat like ours. Some of those coves even have tales of pirates stashing their loot back in the day. Imagine stumbling across a hidden chest full of gold doubloons. Wouldn't that be a right ease up? And speaking of pirates, keep your eyes peeled for those charming little fishing villages nestled along the coast. These folks are the real Algarve buccaneers, braving these waters for generations and pulling in the freshest seafood you can imagine. In fact, after this swashbuckling boat ride, we're heading straight to the best rated cafe in Albandeira de Pera. They say the coffee there is so strong it can wake a kraken from its slumber. And the cakes, well, those are so good they'd make a mermaid sing opera. Just imagine a steaming cup of joe that'll give you a right kick and a slice of heaven on a plate, all while soaking up the glorious Algarve sunshine. Now that's the life, eh? Alright me hearties, batten down the hatches once again. We're making a grand entrance back to Albandeira de Pera, just like a Roman galley returning from a victorious battle. The skipper here knows how to handle a boat like a seasoned sailor. Hold on tight, folks!
We landed with a bit of a bump. We made it though. So that was our trip on the Aurora. Getting ready for the next people, I think. At some points very scary going in and out of those caves. The cave rock was very close to us, close to our heads and stuff. But very exciting, very interesting, nice to see everything from a different perspective. I think it's time for a coffee. We're back here, #1 rated cafe in Albandeira de Pera. I'll put the link in the description because I can't pronounce it. Wow, look at these cakes we've got. I think we've got enough.
Just enough.
Got a bit of a sharing platter going on. I think I have a variation of the pastel de nata here.
Really? Same custard filling.
We've all got this delicious custard, haven't we?
Got some kind of nuts in it. Delicious.
Got to eat it.
Incredibly, we've eaten it all.
Did you think it was that brioche little?
Which was the best one?
Chocolate.
Yes, the one I chose was the best.
Not as good as we've had it. Oh, it's I like the mashing nuts there on there, isn't it?
It could be.
It's interesting.
I wondered what that bit was.
Next time we're hitting the golden sands of Praia da Rocha and trekking the beautiful Alvor.